Welcome to our weekly news in review. I'm Constance Ebanks. Questions remain as immigration reform bill passed. After 3 days of heated debate and dozens of amendments, in the month of December 2025, the biggest overhaul of the Cayman Islands immigration system in more than a decade passed Parliament with unanimous support. Despite strong criticism and tense exchanges, opposition MPs backed the bill at its second and third readings, marking a major legislative win for Immigration Minister Michael Miles. The new law, soon to be known as the Caymanian Protection Act, is expected to create more opportunities for Caymanians, particularly young people, to enter the workforce and build careers at home, while also reducing the number of people granted Caymanian status each year. Key changes include tougher rules to prevent job hopping, higher income requirements for guest workers bringing dependents, and longer residency periods before qualifying for Caymanian status, now 20 years or 15 for spouses. The law also gives WORC greater authority to share information across government, aimed at improving decisions on work permits, residency, and status applications. While widely supported by voters, the legislation remains controversial. Opposition MPs warn that it could be inflationary, divisive, and difficult to understand, noting that many amendments were only seen days before the vote. Most of the changes will not take effect until the year 2026 once regulations, including higher fees, are rolled out. Grandfather clauses will protect those already on a pathway to residency or status. Premier Andre Ebanks called the bill a body of work the country can be proud of, while Minister Miles said the reform is about learning from the past and preparing Caymanians for the future. IAT sued over declined permit. A local law firm has launched legal action against the Immigration Appeals Tribunal after it upheld a decision refusing a work permit for a paralegal position. Broadhurst LLC argues the tribunal's ruling was legally flawed, unreasonable, and a breach of natural justice after both the Work Permit Board and the IAT rejected its appeal. The tribunal ruled that a Caymanian applicant did meet the required qualifications and could be trained to carry out the remaining duties of the role, including basic legal procedures and court filings. Broadhurst strongly disputes that finding, saying the tribunal failed to properly consider the professional qualifications and experience of the temporary worker it sought to employ. The firm also argues the local applicant lacked litigation experience, strong communication skills, and suitability for a client-facing role. In his court filing, Broadhurst says the tribunal applied the wrong legal test, arguing the law requires a suitable qualified resident to already meet the job requirements, not be capable of being trained. The firm also claims it was denied procedural fairness after the tribunal relied on training as a deciding factor without evidence or giving Broadhurst the opportunity to respond. The case comes as the business community awaits the rollout of Cayman's new immigration law, with an apparent rise in legal challenges under the current system, raising concerns about future disputes. The lawsuit was filed on 30th December and a hearing date has not yet been set. Criminal charges for the 10th time. Cayman Mall Road owner Sandra Hill is facing 3 new harassment charges linked to commentary on her popular morning talk show. The charges relate to questions she raised about a civil servant connected to former Premier McKeever Bush during the 2025 election campaign, including concerns over the possible misuse of public resources. Hill denies the allegations, saying her commentary was legitimate political speech and public interest journalism. She argues the charges are poorly drafted, fail to specify the complainant or the offending statements, and amount to an attempt to silence media criticism. This is the 10th time Hill has been charged over the past 15 years, with most cases either dismissed or overturned on appeal. Hill says she is consulting attorneys and plans to bring civil action against the Cayman Islands government. She will appear in court on 10th of February. No jail for actress in cannabis import appeal. A wealthy Texas actress has successfully appealed a suspended prison sentence for importing cannabis products into the Cayman Islands. Jacora Welburn was originally given a 4-month suspended sentence after arriving by private jet in March with ganja gummies, THC cream, and 4 cannabis cigarettes in her luggage. While the Grand Court upheld fines and costs totaling more than $10,000, Justice Cheryl Richards squashed the prison sentence, ruling the overall punishment was manifestly excessive. Wilburn admitted the items when her bags were screened at the Owen Roberts International Airport and later provided evidence that the cannabis products had been medically prescribed following surgery. The court accepted there were no attempts to conceal the drugs and no suggestion of trafficking. In her ruling, Justice Richards said the sentence was out of line with more than 50 similar cases over the past 2 years involving visitors and residents who imported small amounts of cannabis for personal use. She found the punishment was disproportionate and failed to properly apply the principle of totality. The case has also renewed scrutiny of Cayman drug laws, which classify THC creams and gummies as hard drugs, carrying harsher penalties than small amounts of ganja cigarettes. Wilburn's convictions remain on record, and the fines already paid will stand. Smith Cove robbery trial set for March. A Georgetown man has denied robbing another man at Smith Cove. Eric Angel Lawrence Ebanks pleaded not guilty in Grand Court to a charge of robbery linked to an early morning incident at the Poplar Beach on the 24th of October. Police allege Ebanks was armed with a knife when he stole a wallet containing $200, jewelry, and an iPhone. A jury trial has been set for the end of March, and Ebanks has been remanded into custody. Cyclist injured in morning collision. A cyclist was injured in a hit and run on Rex Crichton Boulevard early Saturday morning. Around 6:20 a.m., a white vehicle collided with the pedal bike near Time Street and then drove off, leaving the rider on the road. Emergency services quickly responded, treating the cyclist before taking him to hospital with what are believed to be non-life-threatening injuries. Police are appealing to anyone who may have seen a white vehicle in the area at that time and to come forward. They're asking residents to help bring the driver to justice, and tips can also be submitted anonymously through RCIPS or Cayman Crime Stoppers. Tragic diving accident claims life of West Bay man. Tragedy struck off the coast of Barkers on Saturday afternoon when a 42-year-old West Bay man died while conch diving. Thor Emil Nicholson was diving in the Big Channel area with friends when he failed to resurface. The Cayman Islands Coast Guard responded quickly, pulling him from the water and administering CPR on board their patrol boat. He was transported to Scott's Landing and taken to hospital by EMS, but was pronounced dead by the attending physician. Nicholson is the first person to lose their life at sea in this year, 2026. Authorities have extended their condolences to his family, friends, and the diving community, reminding everyone of the importance of safety while at sea. Opposition calls for duty-free recycling equipment. Deputy Opposition Leader Kenneth Bryan has filed a motion calling on the government to remove import duty on recycling equipment, including glass crushers, plastic shredders, and balers. Brian says cutting the duty by 100% would encourage entrepreneurs to start reuse and recycle businesses and help develop a green economic sector in Cayman. The government has previously said it intends to focus on the 4 Rs: reduce, reuse, recycle, and recover to tackle the island's growing garbage problem. Currently, Cayman produces around 5 times the global average of waste per person, but only 2% is recycled. Brian hopes the motion, seconded by his colleague Roy McTaggart, will be debated in the next sitting of Parliament and says it's time to make recycling equipment more affordable and empower residences and businesses to reduce waste. 15 graduates begin year-long placements in financial services. 15 Caymanian graduates have begun year-long contracts with local financial services firms following completion of Cayman Finance's first ever graduate training program. The program included 12 weeks of workshop, mentorship, and specialized sessions on banking, investment funds, insurance, fintech, and final crime prevention, as well as wellness and mental health support. Graduates have now joined small and medium-sized firms including Conyers, Denton's, Global Captive Management, Grant Thornton, Trident Trust, and Willis Torres Watson. The initiative is designed to help smaller firms access Caymanian talent while giving graduates the skills and networks needed for long-term careers in the financial services industry. Daniel Hennings of Cayman Finance says the program opened doors and sets participants up for success, giving them the knowledge, mentorship, and connections to thrive in the sector. Mosquito control goes high-tech in Cayman. The Cayman Islands fight against mosquito is getting a high-tech boost. This week, the Mosquito Research and Control Unit is putting drones through their paces, training pilots and calibrating equipment ahead of full operational use. The goal is to safely integrate this cutting-edge technology into everyday mosquito control. The drones will allow teams to reach hard-to-access areas, targeting breeding sites with precision and efficiency. MRCU uses 2 types of drones, a smaller model for mapping and accessing sites, and a larger one designed to apply mosquito control products exactly where they're needed. Officials say careful training ensures that safety, accuracy, and environmental standards remain a top priority, combining modern technology with the department's proven expertise in keeping mosquitoes under control. Amid international turmoil, Cayman's leader says the islands remain safe. Global events in Venezuela have grabbed headlines this week, but Cayman's governor is reassuring residents that the islands remain safe and secure. In a dramatic U.S. military operation on the 3rd of January, American forces struck targets in Venezuela and captured President Nicolas Maduro and his wife, Cecilia Flores, who were flown to the United States to face federal drug trafficking charges. The move, described by U.S. officials as necessary to combat narco-trafficking, has drawn international attention and mixed reactions, with some world leaders condemning the action as a dangerous breach of sovereignty and others expressing cautious support for a peaceful transition. Governor Jane Owen says the Cayman Islands continue to be safe and secure, and that she has been in regular contact with Premier Andre Ebanks, the UK government, and regional partners as they monitor developments. She highlighted ongoing cooperation with the United States and other nations to uphold security and international law in the region. Owen noted that Cayman Civil Aviation Authority is closely tracking air travel conditions and that airports and ports are operating normally, urging travelers to check with their airlines for the latest information. While the United Kingdom continues to work with carrying governments on regional stability, the broader geopolitical scene remains fluid, with questions about future U.S. actions and possible implications for neighboring countries like Cuba. The governor stressed that Cayman's safety remains a priority and updates will be provided through official government channels as events unfold. Exciting year ahead for Cayman golfers at home and abroad. Cayman golfers tee off for an exciting 2026 season. The new golfing year kicks off this month with the Latin American Amateur Championship in Peru, starting today, 15th of January. While reigning champion Justin Hastings won't defend his title after turning professional last July, Cayman will still be represented on the fairways by former champion Aaron Jarvis and his brother Andrew Jarvis, both bringing strong local form to the tournament. Hastings, meanwhile, is aiming higher. He'll make his Corn Ferry Tour debut at the Bahamas Golf Classic at Atlantis Paradise Island from the 11th to the 18th of January, looking to secure his place on the PGA Tour. Locally, the Cayman ladies team will aim to defend their 2025 Caribbean Classic trophy in the Dominican Republic from the 28th of April to the 2nd of May. Other key events in the first quarter include the President's Trophy on the 28th of February and the Cayman Islands Amateur Championship on the 21st to the 22nd of March. CIGA President Daniel Fortin said, "We look forward to another exciting year of golf, both at home and abroad. Our players always represent Cayman fantastically, and we hope to see that again this year." He added that the association is grateful for support from sponsors, volunteers, and the community, which makes the local game possible. This has been our weekly news in review. Thank you so much for joining us. I'm Constance Ebanks.
Flashpoint Media proudly presents Point of Praise. Get ready, Cayman Islands, because the moment you've been waiting for is here. Cayman's Got Talent, the results show on January 31st. Join us live at 7 p.m. at CCC 74 Fairbanks Road, Georgetown, Grand Cayman. Witness the excitement, witness the reveal, celebrate the anointing, the creativity, and the talent that took Cayman by storm. One stage, one night, one unforgettable experience. This is Flashpoint Media production. For more information, call 345-321-6969. Don't miss it. Cayman's Got Talent, the results show.